Two people were kissing when the girl's mother arrives and is surprised to see that. She then asks her daughter what was going on there. The man compliments the girl's mother and says he was her boyfriend. She says she was happy to have met her daughter's boyfriend and asks him to sit down so they can talk. She told him to sit on the couch, then he asks what she wanted to talk about. She asks her daughter's boyfriend if he really wanted to move in with him. He says yes, and then the girl's mother asks the man how old he was. He tells her that he was a little older than her daughter, which makes the woman a little worried about it. She then asks what the man worked with, and he says that unfortunately, at the moment he wasn't working, but that he was always doing some jobs to get some money. She asks if the man knew that her daughter was not yet 18, and he says yes. She then asks the man where they were going to live, and he says that the intention was for them to live at the man's parents' house. He said that there was a good room in that house and that they could live there for a while. She then tells her daughter that, as she already knew, her father abandoned them a long time ago. She then proceeds to tell her daughter that she would prefer her to stay in that house, at least for the next few months, until she turns 18. She said that the house was too big and that she was going to be alone, living there, without her daughter. She says that if anything happened to her, that house would be the girl's. The girl asks about her boyfriend, and the woman said it was okay for the man to live in the house with them. She says that even though the man didn't have a job, she didn't see a problem with the man living with them. The girl is happy and says that her mother was being very nice to them. The woman then says that it would be good for the man to live there as he could help with the security of the place. The man thanks him and says that he hadn't thought of that possibility. The woman then says that all he needed to do now was for the girl to go for some tests so that she wouldn't get pregnant. She then says that if the man wanted, he could move that same day. Later, the man tells the girl that he was very hungry, but she told him that he didn't need to worry as soon her mother would bring him breakfast. At that moment, the woman arrives and the girl asks where their breakfast was. The woman then said that her daughter couldn't play with those things, but she said it was serious and that she wanted their breakfast. The woman says that she wouldn't prepare food for them, because now that her daughter was living with her boyfriend, she was going to have to take on some responsibilities. She asks, how did her daughter think they would do to feed herself? The girl says she didn't know, but that she thought her mother would help. The woman then says that all her daughter needed to do was get up and prepare the food. The girl then says that her mother knew she didn't know how to cook. She then asks her boyfriend if he knew how to prepare something, but he says that unfortunately, he didn't know how to prepare anything. She then gets up here, then they think about it and asks her mother to take her to school because she was late. The woman doesn't tell her daughter that she wasn't going to take her to school either, because now that she was living with her boyfriend, she would have to do it alone. The girl is surprised by this and wonders how she could go to school. She then asks her mother to lend her car to her boyfriend, but the woman said she couldn't because she was going to use the car. She then says that they would choose to use the bike that was in the garage, but the girl is furious about it and said that she could not ride her bike to school as everyone would laugh at her. The woman tells her daughter that when people get married, they usually go through some problems and that this was the norm. She then says that they could use the bike, but that they couldn't ruin it. The girl gives up arguing and leaves with her boyfriend. Later, she arrives to find her room all messed up. He then asks, how was her class? She says it was very tiring and asks him if he had prepared something for them to eat, as she was very hungry. He tells her that he was also very hungry and that she should prepare something for them to eat. She then asks him what he had been up to during the whole day she was away, and he said that after he returned home, he lay in bed and spent the whole day watching the movie. She asks if he really spent his whole day lying in that bed doing nothing. She said she couldn't believe her boyfriend had done that and that she was very hungry and that he hadn't prepared anything for them. He said he was very tired from taking her to school and that he was also very hungry. He then says that he was seeing that it could have been a mistake. He then tells her that she needs to wash his clothes, but that she should be careful, because they could spoil in the washing machine. She is very surprised by this, and the man said that her mother always washed all her clothes and that she did not use the washing machine because they could ruin them. He then tells her that she should wash those clothes quickly, as soon he would have no more clothes to wear. She then said that she would not wash his clothes, that she had never done any laundry in her life, as her mother had always done everything for her. He says those clothes wouldn't wash themselves, but she says they wouldn't and that he should do his own washing. He then tells her that she should do that to them. He knew that women had to take care of their husbands. She tells him that he should think again about what he was talking about, because he was at her house and was using everything he wanted, but that he wasn't helping with anything in any chores around the house. She says he was crazy to think they would move in together like that. He then says that they could live at a friend's house, as that friend had already said that he could live there. He told her that in this way, she would do what he was asking, for he learned that the woman took care of the man. She then says that, in this case, their days were numbered, as she didn't know how to do any household chores and that he didn't know how to do anything either. She says that this way they wouldn't be able to move in together, because at least she thought she would clean the house while she was away, but he stayed in bed all day doing nothing. He then tells IA to his mother's house. She asks him what he was going to do there. He says that he was going to his mother's house so that he could have lunch and to be able to do those clothes, because he was sure that his mother would do that for him. She asked her what she was going to eat and he said he had no idea, but that for now that would be the solution to their problems. She then says that she needed to solve that situation and that she would tell her mother, because she couldn't take it anymore. She then goes to her mother, tells her that she couldn't stand living together with her boyfriend anymore. The woman asks how it could have ended so quickly, as they had been living together for not even a day. The girl says that she couldn't stand living together with the man anymore and, although she loves him very much, she says that he didn't do anything and that he expected her to do everything for him. The woman then tells her daughter that unfortunately society is very sexist and that she expected the woman to do everything to take care of her husband. She says that even though she had done everything for her daughter, she couldn't help anymore as she was now living with her boyfriend. She says that now that her daughter has married, she should know how to do everything a woman needed to know. She said no, unfortunately, when her father left, she did everything for her daughter and that was a mistake. She said that she should have given her daughter more responsibility and that now she would make her daughter understand more about life. The girl said that she doesn't understand why she thought things were going to be different and says that when she saw people living together in the movies and soap operas, she thought it was going to be one way, but it turned out to be totally different from what she thought. She said she couldn't live that way anymore, and the woman says she would have to learn more about life. She said that she should learn these things because other people would come into the girl's life and say bad things to her too, but the girl says that she wouldn't let that happen because she wouldn't be in a relationship with anyone else. The woman said she would always be off her daughter. She says that she has always treated her daughter in the best possible way and that she has never given her any responsibility. The woman then tells her daughter that she should talk to her husband and that they will be able to understand each other. She says that he was a good person and that together they would be able to grow and be better people. The girl says that she was going to talk to the man and that they were going to work it out together. She says that they should understand that they were still too young to live together and that they should leave this subject so they can discuss it later. She thanks her mother, tells her that she had learned her lesson. The woman told her daughter that she hoped her daughter would stay there so she could have a good job so she could hire a maid so she wouldn't have to do anything else. She thanks her mother again and tells her that they would work it out together. Later, the man goes up to the girl and tells her that they needed to end their relationship. She is surprised and asks why. He says that when he asked to live with her, he thought it would be totally different. He says that when he thought he was going to move in with his wife, he thought things would be different, but now he saw that it wasn't going to work out and that they shouldn't be together anymore. He told her that she should live in her house and he should live in his house and that they should not be together anymore. She says that unfortunately she was very sad about it, but that he was right, because they didn't know how to live together and that it wasn't going to work. She says that unfortunately, there was nothing they can do and the man agrees. He says that the matter should be ended that way, because he didn't know what else to do and that he was going to go back to his house and says goodbye to them saying that he really enjoyed being together with her, but that he needed to go. When the man leaves, the girl is very relieved and says that this situation has finally been resolved and that she had thought it would be much harder. She says that, unfortunately, the situation turned out better than she had thought and that she would never do it again. She said that she would focus on her studies and that she would only think about studying from that moment on. She said she would never again make a wrong decision, as she had done.